Which you can start.
Pratipuranam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpada Sankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambham Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Arunam Karunatarangitakshin Dhrutapacham Kutapushpabanachapam Animadhivirapratam Mayukhi Ahamityeva Vibhavaye Bhavani. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we have been continuing successfully with this lecture series on Lalitha Sahasranama. We have stopped with sloka number 99 last time. We continue with sloka number 100 now.
Anagatabjaninaya Shyama Bhavadhanadvaya Damshojvala Kshamaladi Thara Rudira Samstita.
In the earlier two slokas, 98 and 99, we started looking at Yogini Devis who are stationed at the 6 chakras and also at the 7th Sahasrara chakra at Brahmarandra. We started with Vishuddha chakra because Vishuddha chakra, Dakineshwari is the Yogini Devi there. She is the Abhimani Devata for the skin dhatu, Twak dhatu, Twak stha. And out of the 7 dhatus which constitute the human body, Twak is the first one. That is why we started with Vishuddhi Chakra. Now we are going to the next one, Anahata. Anahata Abja Nilaya, one who is stationed in, one who is resident in the Anahata lotus. And this lotus has got 12 petals. Last one was having 16. This one has got 12 petals. And last one was having the letters of the alphabet, the swaras, that is A up to Aha. Now we are starting with the Vyanjana, the Ka series. So the Ka series, Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha, Nga, Cha, Cha, Ja, Ja, Nga, then Ta, Tha. That comes to 12 Aksharas. These 12 Akshara Devata are located on the 12 petals of this Anahata object. Shyama Bha. Every Yogini Devata, he is giving complete details. What is the color of the Devata? What are the weapons he is having? What is the Naivedya which he is fond of? Etc. etc. For how many faces? Etc. Now Shyama Bha means one who is having dark complexion. Next is Vadanadvaya. He is having 2 faces. Last time we saw he was having one face, Vadanaika Samanvita. Now it is two faces. Now the number of faces goes on increasing as we go along with this track, and the number of petals goes on decreasing. This is a interesting observation. Damshtrojala. Damshtra is the long, terrible teeth which you find in terrible animals like lion, tiger, etc. At the two ends, the mouth, they are called damshtra, the special long, terrible teeth. Now, this Devi is also having that kind of teeth, and she is shining, Ujjwala, and she is shining with those teeth. Akshamala Adi Dhara, not Akshamala Dhi, is the third Di. Adi means etc. You know. So Akshamala Adi Dhara, she is holding Akshamala etc. Now this etc. is four weapons. Always it is four weapons in four hands. He is going on describing them. Now the commentator mentions what are these four. Akshamala, that is the Rudrakshamala, starting from up to Ksha. These are the 51 letters of the alphabet. There are 51 akshas in the Akshamala. Okay, next one is Trishula, then is Kapala, then Damaru. These are the four weapons which are in the hands of this Devi. Akshamala Adidhara, Rudhira Samstita. Now, every early Devi is associated with a dhatu of the human body. We saw last one was associated with Tvak, the skin. Now, this Devi is associated with Rudhira, which is blood. Rakta, Rudhira, both mean the same. Rudhira Samstita means one who is having blood as her, one who is having blood as her Abhimani Devata. Anahatabhyanilaya Shyamabha Vadanadvaya Damshtrojjalakshamaladi Dhara Rudhira Samstita. Continues now.
कालरात्र्यादिशक्त्युघ वृता स्निग्धौदनप्रिया महावीरेन्द्रवरदा राकिन्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी.
முடிச்சிருங்க மணிப்பூரார்ஜுன்.
मणिपूराब्जनिलया वदनत्रय संयुता वज्राधिकायुधोपेता डामर्याधिभिरावृता.
Kalaratriadi Shaktyaugha Vrita. She is surrounded by Shaktis, Kalaratri, etc. Now, we have seen there are 12 petals. So, like 12 letters of the alphabet, Akshara Devata, there are also 12 Shaktis. Now, what are the names of those Shaktis? Starting with Kalaratri. Kalaratri, Ghantita, Gayatri, Ghantakarshini, Jnarna, Chanda, Kaya, Jaya, Jankarini, Jnanarupa, Shankahasta, and Shankarini. These are the 12 devatas sitting on those 12 petals. Kalaratyadi Shaktyaugha. Shaktyaugha means a group of Shaktis. Krita means surrounded. Sigdhaudana Priya. What is the Naivedya for this Devi? What is she fond of? She is fond of Odana means food. We have seen Annam. Sigdha Annam. What is Sigdha? Sigdha means something which is oily. Something which is oily is called Sigdha. Now, it should have ghee or similar oily substances. Food containing oily substance like ghee. That is Siddhaudana Priya. She is fond of that. Mahavirendra Varada. She is the one who gives boons to Mahavirendras. That means those who are the best among Mahaviras. Those who are the best among Mahavirendras. Now, does it mean those who are the most valorous on the battlefield? No, it doesn't mean that. Because we are not talking about any army commander here. We are talking about those who are worshipping Devi in Kundalini Yoga, we are talking about those worshippers. So there the question of battlefield doesn't come. So Mahavirendra, why is the term Veera coming here? Veera does not only mean valor, it also means valor for required, courage required for eschewing, for keeping rid of adharma, for keeping rid of adharma. You need valor, you need courage. That is what is referred to here. One who is bent upon removing adharma and following the path of dharma, following the path which will lead us towards adhyatma, towards Devi. So there the commentator goes into good detail. He says, Ajnana starts with two bhavas, ahankara and mamakara, which he is talking about aham and idam. Idam means this. This means this article belongs to me, this property belongs to me. So this aham and idam, these two bhavanas, these two sentiments are causing this avidya, and one who has overcome these two sentiments and becomes a swatmarama, one who is able to enjoy the bliss of Atma, not the comforts of the mundane, which are based on this aham and mama. So he is not concerned with these bodily comforts, mundane comforts. He is concerned with the bliss emanating from Atma, and he is lost in that bliss. He is called Atma Rama. Such people are called Veeras. This is the definition given by the commentator, Bhakkaraya. So he says, out of them, those Veeras, out of them, the best, Mahaveeras. So, Mahavirendra Varada. What happened to the screen, Sayantan? Aruna?
Aruna ma'am, can you change it to the next slide?
Yeah. Mama, just give me a minute, Mama. I'm working on it. I'm downloading. I didn't find the download. I'm sorry. I'll do it in a minute, Mama. I'm sorry.
Okay. Where were we? Mahavirendra Varada. Rakanyamba Swarupini. The next Devi who is on this Anahata Chakra, she is called Rakini. The earlier one was called Dakini. So each Devi, each Yogini Devi is given a specific name. Dakini, Rakini, Sakini, etc. So Rakini Swarupini, she is having the form of Rakini Amba. Next is Manipurabhya Nilaya. Just as Anahatabhya Nilaya, now we are going down. Anahata is at the level of Hridaya, heart. Manipura is at the level of Nabhi, navel. Manipurabhya Nilaya, one who is the Devi who is resident in the lotus of Manipura Chakra. Vadanatraya Samyuta. Now the number of faces is 3. From 1, from 2, we have gone up to 3. Vajradika Ayudha Upeta. She is having Ayudhas, weapons, starting with Vajrayudha. Now the others are Vajra, Shakti, Danda, and Abhayamudra. Shakti is what is commonly known as veil in Tamil, the spear, which is held by Subramanya. That is called Shakti. Vajra, Shakti, Danda is like a staff, a club. Abhayamudra, the gesture of giving freedom from fear, Abhaya. Now, how can a mudra which gives us freedom from fear be classified as a weapon? Vajra is a Ayudha. The answer is that Devi is not always keen on punishing the wicked. She wants to give a chance for them to reform. We saw about Shivaduti earlier. Even for Shambha and Nishambha, she gave a last minute opportunity to reform themselves. All such episodes, we see always there is an opportunity given to the Asura. You stop your evil deed, you go to Patala. They are not asking the Asuras to become homeless. There is a home for them. There is a place for them. That place is Patala. Just as the Swarga is the place for Asura, for Sura, and Bhumi is the place for Manushya, for Asura, the place is Patala, as per Shastra. So why are you violating the Shastra and go back to your normal place of Patala? This is the advice given before every such elimination of Asura takes place. We have seen that. So that is this what is being referred to as Abhaya Mudra. That is also a weapon for reform in this case. So we have these four Vajradika, Ayudha, Upeta, Damaryadivir Avrita. Now there are 10. This is the 10-petaled lotus with Manipura. The letters are starting from the na, the three which are balanced in the Takara Varna. Takara Varna, then the four of the Takara and Pa, Pa. These constitute the 10. And Devi names were seated on the 10 petals of the lotus, starting with Damari. That is why he says Damaryadihi Avrita, surrounded by Devi, including Damari. Damari, Dankarani, Narna. In fact, some of these names refer to the letters of the alphabet which we saw just now. So Damari, Dankarani, Narna, that is the letter Na. Tamasi, Sanvi, Dakshayani, Dhatri, Nari, Parvati, Patkarini. In fact, it so happens that in this case, all the 10 names are corresponding to those 10 letters which we saw earlier. Damaryadivi Ravsa. So this is the description of the Devi, Yogini Devi in Manipura Chakra. It is continuing in the next shloka. Kala Ratriyadi Shaktyoga Vrita Siddhodana Priya Mahavirendra Varada Rakinyamba Swarupini Manipura Janilaya Adanatrayasam Yuta Vajra Dikayudhopeta Vajra Ajika, just as the earlier one, the third the wrongly printed as the fourth the here in this three. Vajra Dikayudhopeta Damarya Dibhiravrita.
रक्तवर्णा मांसनिष्ठा गुडान्न प्रीतमानसा समस्त भक्त सुखदा लाकिन्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी स्वादिष्टानाम्बुजगता चतुर्वक्त्र मनोहरा शूलाध्यायुध संपन्ना पीतवर्णाति गर्विता.
This Devi, what is the complexion? Color. Raktavarna, blood color. Mamsanishtha. Every Devi is being associated with a dhatu of the body we saw. Tvak, Rudhira. Now it is Mamsa. Mamsa is the flesh, the muscle. Mamsa dhatu. She is the Abhimani Devata for the Mamsa dhatu, Mamsa Nishtha. Gudanna Preta Manasa. The food which she likes is Gudannam, the jaggery food. Samasta Bhakta Sukhada. Last time we saw Mahavirendra Varada. That Devi was known to be very kind towards Mahavirendra. Now this Devi is not like that. She encourages every Bhakta. Samasta Bhakta Sukhada. She bestows comfort on every Bhakta. Samasta Bhakta, all Bhaktas, all devotees. Lakinyamba Swarupini. Her name is Lakini Devi. Next is Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana is just above Mooladhara at the level of the Guhya. Swadhisthana Ambuja Gata, one who is resident in the Ambuja, the lotus, which is the Swadhisthana Chakra. Now, this Swadhisthana Chakra has got 6, last time it was 10, 6 petals, and the letters of the alphabet corresponding. We left with 2 letters of the Pavarga. Now we are having the 3 letters, balanced 3 letters of the Pavarga. Then Ya, Ra, La. So that constitutes 6 letters. Chaturvaktra Manohara. She is so beautiful. Manohara. Enchanting form with 4 faces. Chaturvatra Manohara. Sholadhyayudha Sampanna. He is having weapons starting with Shula, Trishula. The Ayudhas are Shola, Pasha, Kapala, and Ankusha. Pasha and Ankusha, we are very familiar. Most of the devatas are holding Pasha and Ankusha. Even Ganapati. Shola also we know, Kapala, we have seen earlier with various devatas. Pitavarna, he is having the complexion yellow, yellow complexion. Yellow or golden yellow, that is Pita. Atigarvita, he is very haughty. He is very proud. Why she is very proud? Because she is Manohara. She is very beautiful. Plus, in the next shloka, we will find Medo Nishtha. That means her dhatu associated with her is Medas. Medas means fat. Normally, we find people who are arrogant or being called fatty, arrogant people. So this is fat is associated with arrogance. Now, fat is associated with pride here. So she is called Atigarvita, mainly referring to the beauty. So the more garva is with her, the more compassion will be for us. That is the point which we have to understand. The garva is not important for us. The compassion is important for us. Raktavarnamam sanishtha buranna pritamanasa samasta bhakta sukhada lakinyamba swarupini swadhishtanam bhujagata chaturvatra manohara Sholadhyayudha Sampanna Pitavarnati Garvita.
मेधो निष्ठा मधुप्रीता बंदिन्यादि समन्विता दध्यन्नाशक्त हृदया काकिनी रूपधारिणी मूलाधाराम्बुजारूढ़ पंचवक्त्रास्ति संस्थिता अंकुशादि प्रहरण वरदादि निषेविता.
Medo Nishtha. She is associated with the dhatu of Medas. Medas means fat. In fact, this earth is called Medini. There's a story behind why our Bhumi is called Medini. Meda means fat, full of fat. Why it is called full of fat? Because if you look at the story of Madhu and Kaitabha, those two asuras who were the first asuras at the time of creation. Before creation started, they came out of Vishnu's ears. They created havoc and finally they were killed by Vishnu with his chakra and keeping them on his laps. This is the story. Now, at that time, because they were killed by the chakra, they were decapitated. With a lot of blood and fat and all the parts of their body fell into the water. So only water was there, no land was there. That was the beginning. After Pralaya, creation had not yet started. So this Medas, this fat of these two asuras was so huge that it constituted the earth. Earth came from the fat of these two, because they had assumed huge monstrous forms, so that Vishnu could not kill them. This is how the story goes. Vishnu assumed even greater form, suddenly took them on his lap and killed it. So the fact remains that at the time of killing, their forms were extremely huge. Because of their monstrous forms, the fat was so much that in the ocean waters, this fat became the solid earth. That is why the children are advised not to eat the soil. The soil contains the fat of the asuras. That is why the Bhumi is called Medini. Now, Medo Nishtha. Madhu Prita. She is fond of Madhu. It is honey. Bandhinyadi Samanvita. Bandhini, not the third god, the fourth. Bandhini. Now, this we have seen this is having 6 petals. We saw 6 letters of the alphabet. Similarly, there are 6 Devis seated on those 6 petals. They are called Bandhini onward. Bandhini, Bhadrakali, Mahamaya, Yashaswini, Rakta, Lamboshti. Here also the names follow the letters. Ba, Bha, Ma, Ya, Ra, La. Yashaswini, Rakta, Lamboshti. Lamboshti means one who is having huge lips. If you remember Sundarakanda, the description of those Rakshasi women who were torturing Sita Devi in Ashoka, this kind of descriptions you will find while describing those Rakshasas, three, Gamboshi, etc. Three-eyed and terrible face and this and that. Dadhyanna Sakta Hridaya, one who is fond of Dadhyanna. Third writes, Kakini Rupa Dharini, her name is Kakini. We have seen Dakini, etc. Now we have come to Kakini. Next is the last one in this sixth chakra. We started with Vishuddhi. Downward we have come to, it's not really six we have not covered because we started with Vishuddhi. We didn't start with Ajna. So we have to go back to the sixth chakra Ajna in the next shloka. Now we have come to the lowermost chakra, Mooladhara, the bottommost, the bottom of the spine. Mooladhara Ambuja Arudha, one who has her feet in the lotus of the Mooladhara chakra. Now this chakra, this lotus has got 4 petals. We stopped with the La last time. Now we are going with Va, Sha, Sha, Sa. These are the 4 letters of the alphabet, Akshara Devatas, who are seated on those 4 petals. Panchavatra, we started with 1 face, then 2, 3, 4. Now we are having 5 faces. Devi with 5 faces. Asthi Samsthita. He is the Abhimani Devata of Asthi. Asthi is the bone. See, we are going gradually inside the body. We started with skin, then we went to blood and muscle, then we went to fat, then we are going to Asthi, the bone. Ankushadi Praharana. Praharana means weapon. He is having weapons like Ankusha, etc. Ankusha, lotus, book, and Jnana Mudra. Look at this. Only Ankusha is actually a weapon. The other 3 are not weapons. Lotus, book, and Jnana Mudra. The explanation is the same as we saw last time for Abhaya Mudra. This Devi is so compassionate that he is wielding only one weapon for punishing the wicked, and the other 3 are weapons for reformation of even the wicked people. Varadadi Nishevita. She is served, surrounded. Nishevita means actually served. Seva. She is actually served, surrounded by 4 devatas on 4 petals. Their names are Varada, Sri, Shanda, and Saraswati. Varada, Sri, Shanda, and Saraswati. Then the description continues in the next shloka. Medo Nishtha Madhupita, Bandhinya Samanvita, Dadhyanna Taktardaya, Akini Rupadharini, Mooladharam Bujarudha, Panchavatra Asthi Samsthita, Ankushadi Praharana, Varadadi Nishevita.
मुद्गौदनासक्तचित्ता साकिन्यम्बास्वरूपिणी आज्ञाचक्राब्जनिलया शुक्लवर्णा षडानना मज्जा संस्था हंसवती मुख्यशक्तिसमन्विता हरिद्रान्नैकरसिका हाकिनी रूपधारिणी.
Udgaudana Sakta Chitta. Odana is food. Asakta means fond of. Mind is attached to Mudgaudana. What is Mudgaudana? It is green gram. Green gram, food of green gram. Sakinyamba Kurubini. Her name is Sakini. Next is Ajna. Now we have come up to Mooladhara, the lowermost. Then we started with Vishuddhi. Just above Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi is at the throat level. Ajna is at the forehead level. So that is the last of the 6 chakras. So Ajna Chakra Abja Nilaya. One who is resident in the lotus of Ajna Chakra. Shuklavarna. She is having white complexion. Shadanana, having 6 faces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now it is 6. Now this Ajna Chakra has got only 2 petals. Ha and Ksha, the last 2 letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. If you count all this, it will come to 50. So the number of petals of all these lotuses are also 50. So Ha and Ksha, the last 2 letters of the alphabet. Shuklavarna, Shadanana, Majja Samstha. The dhatu with which she is associated is Majja. Majja is what is inside the bone marrow. Hamsavati Mukhya Shakti Samanvita, it is one name. Hamsavati Mukhya Shakti Samanvita is one name. She is surrounded by, she is accompanied by important Shaktis, Mukhya Shaktis. Hamsavati Mukhya Shakti. Shaktis starting with Hamsavati. Mukhya means starting with Adi, we saw, no? Like that. Hamsavati Mukhya Shakti Samanvita, accompanied by Shakti who can be called Mukhya Shakti, and starting with Hamsavati. There are only 2 petals, there are only 2 Devi, Hamsavati and Kshamavati. And Sha, Hamsavati and Kshamavati. Haridranna Ekarasika, the food she is fond of is Haridrannam, yellow rice. Turmeric added. Hakini Rupa Dharini. Her name is Hakini. So this completes the 6 chakras. Now we will go to the 7th chakra, the Sahasrara, next shloka. Madgaudana Sakta Chitta Hakinyamba Swarupini Ajna Chakra Janilaya Shuklavarna Shadanana Majja Samstha Hamsavati Mukhya Shakti Samanvita Haridrannaika Rasika Hakini Rupadharini.
सहस्रदल पद्मस्था सर्ववर्णोपशोभिता सर्वायुधधरा शुक्ल संस्थिता सर्वतोमुखी सर्वोदन प्रीत चित्ता याकिन्यम्बा स्वरूपिणी स्वाहा स्वधा मतिर्मेधा श्रुति स्मृतिरनुत्तमा.
Sahasradala Padmasri. Now we have come to the 7th one at the top, at the Brahmarandra, which is actually the one which is equivalent to moksha, which is equivalent to the highest level of samadhi, where we have seen all this before, where the Shiva Shakti Aikya Swarupa is blessing us. If you are able to take Kundalini there, right up to Sahasrara Chakra, this is the greatest bliss. So that Devi, that Yogini Devi, that is also Yogini Devi. In every lotus, there is a Yogini Devi. Kundalini Shakti is the one who is being taken from the Mooladhara to the Sahasrara and brought back to the Mooladhara. So this Yogini Devi, who is resident in Sahasradala Padma, we are talking about her. Sarvavarna Upashobhita. What is the complexion of this Devi? This Devi has all colors. We started with yellow, grey, red, and etc. We have white, black, all colors we have seen before. Now this is a mixture of all the colors. What does it mean? It means she is so bright. You look at her from any angle, you see a different color. If you see Kamakshi Stotra of Adi Shankara, I think there are 12 or 14 verses there. In each of the initial verses, in each of the verses, he gives a different color to Kamakshi Devi. Even green is included, yellow, white, black, green, like that. So that is the same Kamakshi Devi appears in different colors and under different circumstances to different people, isn't it? The same thing here. Sarva Varna Upashobhita. Sarvayudhadhara. He is not giving what are the weapons. For each of the other ones, we saw 4 weapons in 4 hands. Here he is not saying, he says Sarva Ayudhadhara. All weapons are there. So this is the Parakashta, the culmination. There is no higher level than this. So everything has come to the peak here. Sarva Ayudhadhara. Shukra Samstita. The Abhimani Dhatu for this Devi is Shukla. The most subtle, the most important out of the 7 Sapta Dhatus in the human body. We went up to Majja, then we have come to Shukla. Sarvato Mukhi, having faces on all sides. We started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shadanana, we saw all of them. It should be 7 now, isn't it? No. It is multi-faced. In fact, in Vishwarupa, if you see Bhagavad Gita or any place where Vishwarupa is described, even in Bhagavad Gita it says, Sarvato Akshishuro Mukham. Sarvata Akshishuro Mukham. Wherever you, whichever direction you look, there is a face, there is an eye, and there is a head. Sarvato Akshishuro Mukham. Similarly here, the number of faces is countless. Sarvato Mukhi, Sarva Udana Priyata Chitta. What is the food which should be offered to any food? All food. Sarva Udana Priyata Chitta. No particular food is her favorite. Because we have come to the last stage, everything, it's encompassing everything in creation. That is the meaning of this. Because there's the highest bliss which we have reached. So that Yogini Devi, who is also there, associated with Seva and Parvati, with the Kundalini and Shiva, he is also very powerful. Sarvodana Priyata Chitta, and her name is Yakini, Yakinyamba Swarupini. Now, with this, the 7 Yogini Devata description process, the Yogini Devata came in for this kind of reference because in Sri Chakra Puja there are Nyasas, Shodha Nyasa. That's how we started. 6 types of Nyasas. One of the 6 types of Nyasas is Yogini Nyasa. That means all these Yoginis in 7 chakras are to be assumed to be present in the human body while we start the puja, while we start with the Sri Chakra Puja. So one of the, Nyasa is invoking the Devata in the body. So all these Yogini Devatas should be invoked. This is one of the 6 types of Nyasa, Soda Nyasa. One of the 6 types of Nyasa is the Yogini Nyasa. So that is completed now, the description. Now he is going to the general description of Lalitha Devi in all her moods of compassion. What are the various facets she is showing us, like Sarvato Mukhi? What are the various faces she is showing us? Swaha, Swadha, Matirmedha, Sruti Spritiranutama. Swaha and Swadha are 2 forms of Devi which are having a specific purpose. These 2 forms have a specific purpose. Swaha is the Devi who is the consort of Agni Bhagavan. Swadha is also a Devi who is the consort of Agni Bhagavan. Agni Bhagavan has got 2 consorts, Swaha and Swadha. Now, without the Shakti of these 2 Devis, he cannot perform his function. What is the function he is performing? He is performing the function of carrying the Ahuti to Devatas and Pitrus. Ahuti which we offer in the fire for Devata. When you say Indraya Swaha, it has to go to Indra, isn't it? Now, who is carrying it to Indra? Agni Bhagavan is carrying it to Indra. How is he carrying? What is the power for him? The power, the Shakti is Swaha. That's why we are saying Indra is Swaha. If you say only Indraya Nama, it won't go to Indra. Unless you invoke the presence of Swaha Devi, it will not go. And that's why you find always Swaha being mentioned. Similarly, when you invoke Pitrus in a Shraddha, when you offer the Pinda in the Agni, you would say Swadha. Because without uttering the name of Swadha, Agni will not have the Shakti to carry that Pinda to the Pitrus. So, in fact, the story goes, there's a story given in Devi Bhagavatam that at the beginning of the creation was completed and the human beings started giving these ahutis. They were not reaching the devatas. Similarly, they were not reaching the pitras. Humans thought that they were reaching, but later on, devatas and pitras went and complained to Brahmadeva, and Brahmadeva prayed to Devi, and then Devi came in these two forms, Swaha and Swatha, and gave the power to Agni to carry. Otherwise, these offerings were not reaching the destinations. Swaha, Swatha, Amatihi. Mati we know, Buddhi. What is Amati? Why we are bringing the opposite here? Amati means avidya. We are all in a state of avidya, isn't it? So how are we to be redeemed? How are we to perform our daily duties in this world? For that we need the blessings of Devi, isn't it? So Devi is so compassionate that she also takes the form of Vidya for being able to come down to our level and help us. That is Amatihi. Medha. Medha is the dharana power, the power of retention in the intellect. Intellect has got several powers. The important powers are one is the ability to absorb something new we read, something we new learn. We absorb it, we understand it, we absorb. If we don't absorb, we go and ask the Guru, we clear our doubts, then finally we understand it. Having understood that, how are you to retain that? Next time, after 3 days, 4 days, after 1 month, we start forgetting. As we age, our forgetfulness increases. Now, that is because our Medha Shakti decreases, the power of retention. That is Medha. Medha Sidevi Vidita Achila Shastra Sara. Devi Mahatma says that. Medha Sidevi Vidita Achila Shastra Sara. All the Shastras, the Sara of all the Shastras, you will be able to retain. Unless you retain, what is the use of reading? For retaining, Medha, see, you are the Medha. या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मेधारूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. Devi Mahatma says that. So Medha is that. Shruti is Veda. What is learned by hearing, that is why it's called Shruti. It should not be read from a book, though they're having printed books these days for helping us to remember. But it should not be used as the primary source to learn. Primary source to learn is through hearing only. That is why it's called Shruti. We have to learn Veda only from a Guru through hearing only at the feet of a Guru. That is Shruti. Smriti. Smriti is something which you remember, isn't it? Smriti is something which you remember. Shastras are called Smritis. Many Maharshis have written Smritis, starting with Manusmriti, Ajnavalkya Smriti, Parashara Smriti, Gautama Smriti, Yama Smriti. So many Maharshis have written Smritis. What is Smriti? Smriti is an extension of Veda, something which has been indicated in a minute form in Veda, is explained in greater detail. And also, Smriti helps us, that is why it's called Smriti, so that you can remember it in particular, okay, on a particular occasion for a particular purpose. You are doing Sandhyavandanam, that is a ritual which has been prescribed in Veda. How to do it is not mentioned in Veda clearly, in detail. That is mentioned in Smriti. What is the first step? What is the second step? What are the mantras for Marjanam? What are the mantras for Argyam? And so on. Now, this kind of serial representation is not there in Veda. That is the purpose of Smriti. That is why it's called Smriti, because you can remember it easily and perform your ritual. It is mainly meant for ritual. Plus, also Dharma Shastras are there, which are also to be remembered. How to know what is Dharma and what is Adharma. Though it is mentioned in Veda, but it is lost in a medley of various instructions. Here, the rishis are so compassionate that they have codified them for our convenience. Dharma Shastra. So that is Smriti. Anuttama is, Smriti is also mentioned in Devi Mahatmyam, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Smriti Rupena Samsthita. In fact, The commentator quotes from Devi Mahatmya, another word, Shabdat, Vikat, Suvimelan, Girgisham, Nidhanam, Udgitaram, Yapatapatavatam, Tasamnam, Devitrayi, Bhagavati, Bhavabhavanaya, Arthas, Sarvajagatam, Paramartihantri. Patavatam, one who is studying the Vedas, Rig, Yajus and Sama, he is mentioning here, Udgita is Sama Veda. You are Devitrayi Bhagavati, you are taking the forms of those three Vedas. Vartasi Sarva Jagatam, whatever speech is there in all the words, Shabdatmika, you are of the form of Shabda. So, this Veda, Shruti and Smriti are associated with speech. That is why he is mentioning it here. Anuttama means one who is not excelled by anyone. She is the highest, topmost. So Anuttama. It's a negative way of saying that there is no one who is excelling her, Anuttama. So for this, the commentator quotes a very nice passage from Devi Bhagavatam. In Devi Bhagavatam, Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra have darshan of Lalita Devi in Sripura at the beginning of creation. They go and submit to Devi saying that we have no energy, we have no power, we have no knowledge. You are asking us to do creation, sustenance and destruction. We are powerless. Then it is Lalita Devi who gives Shaktis, three Shaktis to them. Gauri, Lakshmi and Saraswati. All this is mentioned in Devi Bhagavatam in detail. And each of these three Devas, Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra, break into a great stotra of Lalita, beautiful stotras are there. At the end of this, she is also giving them mantra upadesha, so that whatever they have, whatever Shakti they are now having, is retained properly. So, for that they have to keep chanting the Devi mantra. So, mantra upadesha is also given by Devi. After all this, Brahma raises some questions, some doubts to Devi. So, we are talking about, the Veda talks about Parabrahma who is Nirvikara, who is now having no gunas, but you are also said to be having three gunas, so it is all confusing. He says, Brahma. Then Devi explains what is the Nirvikara Swarupa, what is the Swarupa which has gunas, etc., etc. Now, in that context, Devi herself makes this statement. So, the importance of Shakti for human beings, that is the subject which she is covering here. So, she says that when somebody is unable to do some piece of work, when somebody finds it difficult, impossible to do some piece of work, what does he say? He says, I have no Shakti. He does not say, I have no Rudra. He does not say, I have no Vishnu. Devi says this. Rudrahinam Vishnuhinam Navadanti Janastada. Nobody says this. Rudrahina or Vishnuhina. Shaktihinam Yatha Sarve Pravadanti Naradhamam. One who is powerless, Naradhamam. What do people call him? Shaktihinam. They don't call him Rudrahinam or Vishnuhinam. So that is why she is Anuttama. Sahasradala Padmastha Sarva Varnopashobhita Sarva Yudhara Shukla Samsthita Sarvato Mukhi Sarva Udana Prita Chitta Yakinyamba Swarupini Swaha Swadhama Tirnedha Sruti Smriti Anuttama.
पुण्यकीर्ति पुण्यलभ्य पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना पुलोपजार्चिता बन्धमोचनी बर्बरालका विमर्शरूपिणी विद्या वियदादि जगत्प्रसूः सर्वव्याधिप्रशमनी सर्वमृत्युनिवारिणी.
Punyakirti, whose fame, Devi, whose fame will give us punya. That is the meaning. Punyakirti does not mean Devi whose fame is because of her punya. It doesn't mean that. For us, it means that. If we have fame, it is due to our punya, isn't it? If we call somebody having kirti, famous, how did he get that fame? Because of the punya which he has accumulated. So this cannot apply to Devi, obviously. So what does it mean? It means if we chant the kirti of Devi, we get punya. If we chant the stories of Leelas, which are so famous, which are described in various books, that is punya kirti. To remember, to chant, to meditate on the fame of Devi is going to give us punya. Punya labdha. This follows the previous name, punya kirti. If you go on doing this, if you go on meditating on her kirti, on her leelas, on her name, etc., etc., then that is, you have accumulated so much punya, then you will be able to attain Devi. So one who is attainable only by punya, not by any other means. Punya labdha. Punya shravana kirtana. If you listen, shravana, to the stories of Devi, you get punya. If you chant her name, kirtana, you get punya. So shravana and kirtana are associated with the stories of Devi and the names of Devi. Nama sankirtanam, katha shravanam. That is how we use in Sanskrit literature. Shravana is associated with katha and kirtana is associated with nama. So if you keep on doing katha shravanam and nama sankirtanam, you accumulate so much punya, then you will get punya labdha, you will get Devi's blessings. Punya shravana kirtana. Pulomaja archita. Pulomaja archita. One who is worshipped by Pulomaja. Pulomaja is Indrani. She is also called Tachi. And she is born of an asura called Puloma. That is why she is called Pulomaja. Just as Prahlada was also born to an asura, there are good people also who are born in the lineage of asuras. Not all lineage people are asuras. Some of them are good people, isn't it? We see that. Like Bali also. So this girl who was born for the asura of called Puloma, she was so much devoted to Devi and to Vishnu that she prayed that she should be married to Indra only. And she got her prayer. She was blessed to be married to Indra. So she is Pulomaja. Now what is the reference here? Pulomaja Archita, worshipped by Indrani. There is a specific story in Devi Bhagavatam, other Puranas also, where Indrani came to big troubles. What happened was that when Devendra killed Vritrasura, Vritra was the son of Prajapati. So what happened? He is a Brahmana. Having killed Vritrasura, he contracted Brahmahatya dosha. And that Brahmahatya dosha was so severe because Vritra was such a great personality. Depending on the person, the extent of Brahmahatya dosha also increases, isn't it? Now, having killed Ravana, Rama contracted Brahmahatya dosha. That is why he went and prayed to Ramanatha Swami in Rameshwaram. That is how we find it in Ramayana. Similarly, even for Rama, it happened. So nobody is exempt from this kind of severe doshas. So when Indra, of course, this was done for the purpose of Lokakshema only, for the welfare of the world only, Ravana killing or even Vritra's killing. But that does not exempt you 100%. You have to do some prayashchita even then. So Indra was disrespected by Deva. Everybody started because he developed this dosha, appeared on his form. He developed a very ill-looking form. So he was so ashamed. He wanted to hide himself out of public view. He went to Manasarovar lake and he hid himself inside a lotus stem. Manasarovar is full of lotuses. How will you know which lotus stem he is hiding. And how will you know, first of all, that he has gone to Manasarovar and hiding? Nobody knew. So everybody was searching here and there. And finally, they installed another Indra because Saptarishis decided Swarga cannot be placed without king. So they installed a king from Bhuloka called Nahusha. Then Nahusha started troubling Indrani, so that story is different. So at that time, Indrani prayed to Devi because she could not resist the overtures of Nahusha. She was looking for Indra to help. Now, Indra was not, whereabouts of Indra was not known. So she prayed to Devi. Then Devi was happy with her prayer. She sent an emissary with Indrani, and that emissary Devi went along with Indrani to Manasarovar lake, and that is where Indrani found Indra. That is why after that, during this process, she is called Pulomajarta. After Indra came and it is Indra who guided her how to get out of this Nahusha problem. He told her, you ask Nahusha to be carried in a palanquin carried by Saptarishis. So that is where Agastya became angry and he cursed Nahusha to become a Sarpa. So that is the following story. So Pulamajarchita, Bandhamochani, one who relieves us of bandha, of bondage. We are all bound to the samsara, and only Devi is able to give us that blessing of freedom from this samsara bandha. Also, if people who are wrongly imprisoned, for example, like Bhadrachala, Ramadasa, for example, he was imprisoned for 12 years. So there are such stories. Even they pray to Devi. Devi helps for release, for liberation. Bandhura alaka or Barbara alaka, both mean the same. Bandhura alaka or Barbara alaka. Alaka is the kesha, the hair on the head, which is in the front, just above the forehead. That part of the kesha is generally known as alaka. Entire kesha is also known as alaka. Bandhura alaka or Barbara alaka means curved. Curved hair, beautiful curved hair. Vimarsha Rupini. Now, when the creation started, we saw that Devi split herself into two. Parashakti split herself into two, Seva and Shakti. And that is how the creation was started. We saw this earlier. Now, this Shiva Shakti Swarupa is only one, but apparently two. This apparently two entities, Shiva and Shakti, are given different forms, different powers, etc. Isn't it? So the power associated with Shiva is called Prakasha. The power associated with Shakti is called Vimarsha. Prakasha is, supposing you go to a dark room, they were completely dark. If you enter, you will stumble on something because you can't see anything. There are a lot of objects inside, articles inside the room, but you can't distinguish them. So that is darkness. So when Prakasha comes, you are able to see. What you see Vimarsha. So Prakasha is the starting point. Vimarsha is the distinction of various objects. That is the creation. Now that room example was an example. Now in terms of the creation, Brahmanda, when there was nothing, everything was dark, isn't it? There, Shiva was the light. And in that light, the various objects which were in Sukshma form, which were in subtle form, became visible, and then the creation developed. So this is Vimarsha Rupini is that kind of. In fact, this Vimarsha concept comes in Sri Vidya Upasana in a big way. A lot of explanations are there. They are also related to words and meaning. This Prakasha and Vimarsha concept is also related to words and meaning. Like Kalidasa says, Swagarthaviv Sampriktau, Swagartha Pratipatye, Jagata Pitaro, one day, Parvati Parameshwaro, he says, Vak and Artha, word and meaning. The Vak is Parvati and Artha is Parameshwara, he says. So that is the one complement the other, Prakasha and Vimarsha. Vidya. Without Vidya, we don't go anywhere we don't advance anywhere in the path of Adhyatma, isn't it? First, we have to know the concept of Devi, all that we have been studying, or various concepts associated with Devi. First, we have to know them, isn't it? That knowledge is Vidya, and she is the one who helps us with that knowledge so that we advance. Finally, we end up with moksha. That jnana, which is giving us moksha, is also coming from Devi. Vidya Sita Bhagavati Parama He Devi. Devi Mahatmam says this. Vedadi Jagat Prasuhu, one who generates. Prasuhu means generate. That's why when a lady gives birth, it's called Prasava, giving birth. So this Devi is also giving birth to this world, Jagat Prasuhu. Vedadi. Ved is sky, space, not sky. Ved is space. Out of Panchabhuta, the first Bhuta created by Devi is space. Akashat Vayuhu, Vayoragnihi, Agneraapaha, Adbhya Prithvi. This is what Veda says. So this is the sequence from Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi. So Prithvi is the last one, the most solid one. Akasha is the most subtle one, the space. We can't see it with our eyes, we can't sense it with our sense organs, but we know space is there. Now, everything is space. Actually, everything is space. I think the picture there is some problem. Okay. So that is why it says, Vayat Adi Jagat Prasuhu. The starting point of creation is Vayat. Of course, there are earlier stages of creation that we have seen earlier also, we will be seeing again. But here, out of the Panchabhutas, Vayat is the starting point. Sarva Vyadhi Prashamani, Sarva Mrityu Nivarini. One who relieves us of all diseases, Vyadhi, Sarva Vyadhi Prashamani. One who subdues all our diseases, Vyadhi. Vyadhi is associated with the body, Adhi is associated with mind. Adhi Vyadhi Haram Devam. The Sutra on Shiva says this. So Adi and Vyadhi. Now here we are talking about Vyadhi. We have not mentioned Adi, but if you don't mention it, is supposed to include that Vyadhi as well as Adi. Sarva Mritya Nivarini, one who gives us relief from all types of death. All types of death. What is all types of death? One who dies normally, a normal death is ordinary. But there are cases of abnormal death, isn't it? One who dies in accident. Something is called Akala Mrityu, one who is bitten by a serpent, one who is eaten by a lion. You have all types of death, isn't it? One who is struck by lightning. Now, this is Apamrityu and Akala Mrityu. Apamrityu is this kind of accident, etc. Death. Akala Mrityu is untimely death. It's not the time for his death, but he has died because of this accident or etc. So this Akala Mrityu, Apamrityu are also covered in Sarva Mrityu. In fact, even Kala Mrityu is covered according to the commentator. Forget about Akala Mrityu. Even Kala Mrityu, even normal death, that after the normal period is over, normal lifespan is over, even that death is covered here, Sarva Mrityu. Because, like Markandeya, for example, he overcame the ordinary death. There are people like the Siddhas, they live for many, many years. It's not their normal Kala. So even that is possible with the grace of Devi, Sarva Mritya Nivarini. Punya Kirtya Punyalabhya Punya Shravana Kirtana Ulomajatita Bandha Mochani Bandhuralaka Vimarsharupini Vidya Viyadadi Jagat Prasuh. Sarvavyadhi Prashamani, Sarvamrityu Nivarini. We close for today. Time is up. Any questions?
If you have any questions, please unmute yourselves and turn on your video and ask questions, please. Any questions, anybody? Please unmute yourself and turn on your video and ask questions. No questions, Guruji.
No questions. Okay, we close for the day. I wish you all the best. We will meet again next Saturday, 7 p.m. IST for this session to continue further. Nama Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Lalita Parameshwarye Jaya Jaya